I had played city hockey, and I played for the school, so Ajag playing with the Chinese Aces, a team made up of local Chinese boys. And we had two Chinese boys, a Cito family from Elmer, Quebec, and one of our foremost opponents was the Elmer Saints in Quebec, and we played against them quite a number of times, and we very extraordinary, rough games for us anyways. But the two Cito boys were pretty husky and pretty strong, and they knew the fellas, so we had a lot of competitive games with them in time. We also, traveled, as I mentioned to you earlier once, that we traveled most of the small towns around Ottawa playing during the war for the War Relief Fund. And we packed all the arenas everywhere we went. And they all, whatever they charged for that, all that money went to the Chinese War Relief Fund during the war. And we played in most of the surrounding towns I mentioned to you earlier, Carleton Place, Smith Falls, Perth, and we trailblazed in the factor that we were a novelty. We were a novelty of an all-Chinese hockey team. Now, we weren't the first. They had one in Montreal, Montreal Atlas, whom we went and beat them in Montreal Forum one Sunday afternoon in front of 4,000 people. And they had a big group and big fellas, but we were fast skaters. I guess I think the most memorable one has to be in Morrisburg. We played against the Morrisburg Juniors, top winning team in this area on a Saturday, and we tied them 6-all at the end of the game. We wanted to go home, but they said no, you had to play overtime, and we said no, we've got to get back to Ottawa. We had 5 cars we were in, and they said no, we had to play. We didn't know that the owner of the team plus the owner of the Chinese restaurant, a fellow by the name of Willie Hoy, New York Cafe, had made a wager on the game. So the game had to be played, and he was such a gentleman. He lost, but he invited all the team, both teams, back to the restaurant along with the City Fathers for dinner before we took off, come back to Ottawa. And I think I'd mentioned it, we got stuck at a place called Winchester Springs for 3 nights in 5 cars. Killed the only chicken the poor farmer had, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Anyway, so it was quite a story. All of us would remember that.